Welcome, welcome everybody. It's Josh Shanley, and we are ready to rock and roll. I hope that you are as excited as I am for this new training, and for just to make sure you're in the right place. What we're going to go through is how one of our pro members, John Giamarco, I think that's how you say his name, generated 31 seller leads during the holidays, and we're going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of how he did it and how you can too. Here's what's more important, though. Not only it's not just about that he generated 31 leads, right? Because honestly, I could sit with any one of you and recreate that result very quickly with any one of you listening. What's more important is the mindset, the skill, what he learned in the process that no one can ever take away, and what I'm going to impart to you in this training. So we've got a lot of good stuff, and I know that you're going to get a lot out of this. Now, a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, please let me know in the questions if you can hear me and see the screen. I already have somebody saying happy holidays. Happy holidays to all of you as well. And let us know where you are listening in from as well. I always like to see where we've got folks joining us from. Merry Christmas, says someone. Merry Christmas to you as well, Patricia. Will this be recorded? I'm trying to record it. I'm doing my best. So Boca Raton, I'm sure it's nice and warm there. Brighton, Michigan, I'm sure it's probably not there. Grand Rapids, good stuff. Kurt, glad to see you on. Jonesboro, Arkansas, right on. Deerfield Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Victoria. Merry Christmas from California, Southern California. Good, good, good. All right, so it seems like all of that is working, so we're going to proceed, right? Number two, remove all distractions, if you would, please. Turn your phone off or turn it on vibrate. Close down any other browsers you might have open. Close your door, maybe even lock it. In fact, I'm going to lock mine right now. Good reminder for myself. And number three, please remain open-minded and willing to have a mindset shift and a breakthrough, okay? Look for that in this, right? Be open to it happening for you. And lastly, number four on our housekeeping is, I've got some information that I've put together, I've planned for you all, and I will stay on as long as possible after that to answer Q&A. I know you guys are going to have lots of questions, and that's fine. That's great. I'll be happy to stay on and answer any and all questions, as long as I possibly can. Now, in the interest of complete and full transparency, I am going to let you know that I have a special offer for you, and I'll share that after we go through the training portion of the call. I'll let you know what that special offer is, and you have an opportunity then to take advantage of that or not. Either way, I promise you, if you remain open-minded, if you remain willing for something, to learn something on today's call, you will take away something, whether or not you take me up on the special offer that I'll make at the end, okay? That much I promise. So here is the inspiration for the training. This is a post by one of our pro members. He posted it a couple of weeks ago, I guess 10 days ago, really. And I'll read it to you because it's kind of small. Hello all, I've been a Client Alchemist Pro for just about a month now. Here's where I'm at so far. I've been through most of the Start Here page. When you become a pro member, we've got a step-by-step process that we walk you through at the beginning of your membership. And depending on where you're at, you might skip certain steps, or you might have to go very deep on a step. It just depends on your prior experience, what you've got, etc. I've completed step 11, turning cold leads into conversions. Or I think this is meant to say I haven't completed step 11 or step 12, which is remarketing. Plan on working on those this week. Here are my results. He did a like campaign. We're going to walk through that, and it's been great. He generated 258 likes for a total cost of $32. And he has a total of 354 likes. He actually has a lot more than that now, and I'll show you that as we go through. Not sure where the other 96 came from. We can talk about that. Just remind me in the questions, and we can talk about, how he got those extra fans. I also started a Goodwill Pages campaign, which at this point has generated 9 leads that cost a total of $45, or about $5 a lead. This all from someone who has basically ignored social media and Facebook up until now and has really resisted it all. Not sure where to go with go from here with the 9 leads, and I'm not sure if the cost is in line, et cetera, et cetera. Here was an update he posted then 4 days later. Yeah, that is true. I think that was replying to a comment. Updated numbers are 31 leads, still averaging $5 a lead. And he says, I'm going to have to slow down the ads because I can't keep up with the reports. I'm still trying to catch up with the requests I received over the weekend and Monday. Okay, so that's what inspired me to put this together for you. And what we're going to do is I'm going to break everything down for you. I'll show you his pages, his ads, his target audience, everything. We're going to walk through that on here. Okay, one real quick second. Oh no, I have that. Never mind. I thought there was something I had forgotten that we'll need for this because I literally just finished these slides up, but I think I'll have it, and if not, we'll find it at the appropriate time. So not only are we going to break down, what he did, how he did it, etc., but more importantly for all of you is the why behind what he's doing and why it's working so well even during the hardest time of the year to attract clients to you. Okay, so my goal, I already mentioned this to you. I want you to remain open-minded. I want you to be willing to think differently. And if you can do that, and if you can embrace the principles and what we call the Client Alchemist way, you can transform your business in 2016 to where you never have to worry about, where your next transaction is going to come from. You don't have to go through the agony of cold calling and cold prospecting and door knocking and pop buys and all that stuff. You can systematically attract your ideal client to you at will if you embrace this and you are willing to, again, be open-minded and be willing to take action like John was. So who's this guy? For those of you, a small percentage of you maybe don't know anything about me, and that's okay. I won't take too much on this because really it's about helping and training you guys, but that's my family there on the right, my beautiful wife and our 4 kids. That picture's probably a year old now, so they're a little bit bigger. The picture on the left is me speaking in front of, I don't know, about 2,000 crazy people. It was a lot of fun. I've had the pleasure of speaking in front of some large crowds over the years, and I probably would have more of an opportunity to do that, but I just kind of choose not to because I like spending time with my family, and that's hard on them when I'm not here with 4 young ones. So I've been doing this. I've been helping our community for 7-8 years now, and over that time I've helped hundreds, even thousands of people learn these principles, apply these principles, generate more business from them. A quick little plug before we start digging in. We just recently launched a podcast. It's called The Client Alchemist Show, and I would greatly appreciate if you went and checked it out, clientalchemist.com/iTunes. Go check it out and do me an even bigger favor of subscribing, rating, and reviewing. Last I checked, we're up to like 20 or 21 all 5-star ratings and some amazing reviews that have been incredibly humbling for me to see and to have. And so and on the show, we walk through a lot of what we're talking about in this training as well, so you can get a deeper understanding and get different perspectives and examples, etc. So here's how we're going to do this. Here's how we're going to walk through. I'm going to walk through the 4-step process that we call the Client Alchemist way. I'm going to walk you through what those things are, and then I'm going to break down John's specific application of those 4 things. And then probably the most important part for all of you are the major sort of takeaways, and I don't remember what I called it on the slide, but the reasons why John has had this kind of success in very short amount of time with 0 prior experience. Okay, so step 1 in the process of what we call the Client Alchemist way is to identify. Okay, some questions to think about in this step of the process is, who is your ideal client? Who do you want to attract to you? Where do they live? What city do they live in? What town? What zip code? Where do they live currently? Are they married or not married? Are they engaged? Do they have kids or not have kids, etc., etc.? You need to think about these questions and get crystal clear on who it is you want to identify. Okay? Whoops. So here's how to make this a major win for you when you're doing this process. And again, I'm going to give you an example of how John, how he identified or who he identified as the audience that he wanted to attract, the ideal client that he wanted to attract. But here's how to make this a major win. If you can combine geographic targeting, i.e., choosing a city, a town, or a zip or several zip codes, and then layering on demographic targeting. Okay, maybe their age, the age range that they're in. We already mentioned it. Are they married or not married? Do they currently own a home or are they renters? I'll give you another example of a campaign from one of our pro members. If you guys remind me during the Q&A, I'll share some of his statistics. They're staggering. They're amazing. But his campaign was to a specific geographic area, and they were currently renters. Okay, so they weren't currently homeowners. John's examples, they were currently homeowners. Okay, so it's all about you and your business. There's no one perfect answer to this question. There's just the answer that is right for you and your business and your market, right? So it's all about you and you sitting down and thinking about and reverse engineering, who do you want to work with? Who do you want as a client? Too often, most of the real estate professionals that I talk to before they've adopted this, they take a shotgun approach. They have a mindset of scarcity, that there's only so much business to be had, and so they're trying to cast as wide a net, or again a shotgun approach, versus a rifle approach. The Client Alchemist way is a rifle approach. It's getting very strategic and targeted with who you want to, who you want to connect with, who you want to attract to you, who you want to do business with, and then going out and making that happen. Now, here's some things I want you to think about with this process, right? If you're struggling with this idea of narrowing down your focus and your ideal audience, here are some things to think about that might help you embrace it, okay? So first of all, I have an analogy for you, or a question. Who do you think, generally speaking, and there's always exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, which one do you think makes more? The attorney or the doctor who is a generalist, or the attorney or doctor who's the specialist, right? Is the general practitioner or the cosmetic surgeon making more money? And now I realize that it's not always and simply about making more money, but here's one of the reasons that I want to help you do that, if that's one of your goals, because when you do that, you can do more good in the world, right? The more you make, the more you can help and make a difference. Okay? So don't get stuck on the fact that I'm just talking about money with this analogy. Just understand that there's an ulterior motive to helping you attract more clients and thereby make more money. But understand that when you try to be the generalist, if you try to be all things to everyone in your market, it's going to lead to a massive amount of frustration, and it's also going to lead to you making less money. So I embrace that idea of becoming a specialist. Okay? And the first step in becoming a specialist is identifying who you want to specialize in serving. Okay? So the second thing on here, a map, right? When you identify your audience, that creates a map for you. Okay? If you don't know where you're going, no map will help, right? I forget what the line from Alice in Wonderland is, but she says something like, well, which way should I go? And the Cheshire Cat, I think it's the Cheshire Cat, says, well, where are you trying to go? And she says, I don't know. And then he says, it doesn't matter which one you take then, right? So this is creating clarity and creating like a map for you, right? Here's the last one. If you're still struggling with this idea of taking a laser rifle targeted approach versus a shotgun or generalist approach, This is an example from a book, one of the best books on marketing that you can possibly find. It's the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. It's by Al Reeves and Jack. Oh, it's around here somewhere. Al Reeves, maybe 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. If you look it up on Amazon, you'll find it. Al Reeves and Jack somebody. Anyway, there's an example in the book where Coke is crushing Pepsi. Coke is beating Pepsi in market share 5-1. So basically, this isn't even quite right, but essentially, Coke has more than 80% of the market and Pepsi has less than 20% of the market. And what Pepsi did was they narrowed their focus and created the marketing campaign, the next generation campaign. And they created marketing messaging specifically targeted to the quote unquote next generation. So they narrowed their focus down with their marketing and their communications. Here's what happened. In a very short period of time, they went from getting their butts kicked, Coke having more than 80% market share and them having less than 20, to narrowing the gap to just 10 difference. So Coke approximately 55% and Pepsi approximately 45%. Now, all of that has changed again because Pepsi went away from that and tried to go mass market and broad messaging and generalist. But the point is, when they narrowed their focus, that's when they had a massive breakthrough. And not only that, even though they narrowed their focus, okay, because this is what we get a lot. Well, if I narrow down my target audience, aren't I going to lose a lot of potential business? Think about this. When they narrowed their focus, Pepsi not only attracted the actual people that they were trying to communicate or market to, but they also attracted everyone else who wanted to look or feel like they were part of the quote-unquote next generation. So not only was the campaign successful in that target audience, but it was also a massive amount of older generation folks who wanted to feel like they were part of the next generation. Okay? So hopefully you're having some ideas. Maybe you're embracing this idea of getting narrow on a different level. And like I said, we will get into some examples, or John's example specifically, in a few minutes. Step 2 in this process, we call attract. So we have identify, and now we have to figure out what type of content, offers, messaging, posts, etc. are you going to create to attract your target market, to attract those people that you've identified in step 1. Okay? So, lots of ideas for this. I'll give you what John did, again, in a few minutes. And I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it again. John has barely even scratched the surface of what's possible, which is the most exciting part about it for him and for all of you listening. Like, you don't have to implement every idea that we share at Client Alchemist, that we share with you with our pro members. You don't have to do everything. You just have to choose a few things and do them really well, right? One of my favorite people, Tim Ferriss, he says, ideas are a dime a dozen, and this might not be his quote. He probably borrowed it for somebody else. But the difference is in the execution, right? You can have the greatest idea in the world. If you can't or don't execute on it, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? So here are some ideas of offers, content, messages, etc. that you can create to attract your ideal audience, your ideal client, right? Number 1 is a weekly market update. So you create a weekly market update that is congruent. That word's going to come up again later, okay? So I'm foreshadowing. That is congruent to the audience that you identified. So whatever town or city or set of zip codes that you're trying to attract, you create a weekly market update that provides information and entertainment to that target audience, right? You could create a weekly best buy. So you go out into your market, being the market expert that you are or should be, and you identify and share with your target audience your list of best buys. Okay, sometimes when we talk about this idea, people get the limiting belief that that's got to be only bargain hunters and things like that. You can do a weekly Best Buy or a weekly deal list for luxury properties, for waterfront properties, for high-rise condos. It is not limited to investor specials or foreclosures in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter who you are, with very little exception. Every buyer wants a deal, or at least to feel like they're getting a deal. Doesn't matter if it's somebody buying a $100,000 townhouse or condo or a $2 million waterfront property. Everybody, with very little exception, wants to feel like they're getting a deal, right? Some other ideas. 5 things to do this weekend in blank in your area, right? 365 things to do in blank. This is an old idea, but one that, when executed well, can create a ton of business. You can run contests, weekly contests. I'm running I've built up a new digital asset, for lack of a better term, in a specific niche. It's not a local niche. It's a larger niche. But one of the things that has been the most effective for growing the audience and attracting more of the audience that I want to connect with, which is our next step in the process, has been contests. Lots of ways you can do contests, and you're only limited by your creativity there. Commentary or on local events. It could be on local charitable events or anything. Here's one crazy idea that I don't know if Scott's on here, but one of our pro members, he's been a member for years, super smart guy, been following what we call the Client Alchemist way for many years now. He recently created a PDF report with all of the best quote unquote Christmas decorations, outdoor Christmas decorations in his marketplace. He created this PDF report, and then he created a blog post, and he shared that on his fan page. And he generated, at last check, the last time he told me, something like 865 leads at like some astronomically, like for 20 cents a lead or something ludicrous. Okay. Now, you may say, well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to buy or sell real estate. No, it doesn't. But he's connecting with, he used it to attract and then connect with his ideal audience. He promoted this only to homeowners in the specific geographic area that he wants to work with clients. Super smart. Really cool idea. You can interview local entrepreneurs. So you could every week interview a local entrepreneur. Okay. You can share your favorite blank in blank. So your favorite coffee shop in blank, your market, your area, right? You can share yard or garage sales, right? The possibilities are endless. Some of these things, some of these ideas are things that you can run with every week. Okay. And can be sort of set it and forget it. Some of these things you need to do some work every week. And to that, I would say, what would you rather do? Would you rather spend some time working on putting together information that the people that you want to connect with and attract to you as clients will find interesting and entertaining, etc.? Would you rather do that, spend time on that, or would you rather continually spend time chasing and begging people for business, right? I'll choose the latter every time. So how do we attract them, right? Well, we use Facebook and other social media, a very simple blog, and landing pages. And if you don't have any of those things, I'll share with you at the end how you can get our help in building out all of that and get everything under one little roof for you. Step 3, I've already hinted at this. Step 3 is connecting. And there are now at least 6 different ways for you to quote unquote connect with your potential prospect, with your ideal audience. And really, I just haven't had the time to turn this into a graphic, but really this should be sort of flipped on its head. And I want you to envision a pyramid, okay? Now, this isn't a pyramid scheme or a pyramid scam, right? But I want you to imagine a pyramid, almost like the, I don't think it's like this anymore, but the food pyramid, the food guy pyramid, maybe it is like that. But I want you to imagine at the bottom, at the base of the pyramid, is what we call an invisible connection. And this one is can be a little bit advanced, but basically You're cooking people who raise their hand and express an interest in some way in one of your offers or content, posts or messages, right? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because, quite honestly, I'll be doing an entire training on this coming up. But just understand that that's the first level of connection, is what we call building an invisible audience or creating an invisible connection. Okay. Most of you have experienced this, right? You've seen this when you go on Amazon, you go to buy a book, but you decide not to buy it, or, it doesn't have to be a book, whatever. And then you go on Facebook and you see an ad for that very thing that you were just about to buy but didn't, right? That happens because of an invisible audience or an invisible connection. You use pixels for that. Don't worry about that a whole lot right now. The next level of connection is fans and building a fan base. John did a great job with this and has already built his fan base up to almost 500 people. Now, why is that so important? Because that fan base becomes a force multiplier effect for all of your other campaigns and messages and posts, etc., meaning it helps all of them perform better, i.e., you get more results for less time or money. And so in the past, in years past, I didn't spend a whole lot of time focusing specifically on building your fan base and connecting with fans. But now, more than ever, because of a lot of changes in the evolution of Facebook and consumer activity and behavior, it is critically important. The more real live fans that you have, the more results you will get for less time or money. Kurt, one of our pro members who's on this, he's built his fan base up to almost 3,000. And Kurt, if you've hit that 3,000, just let me know in the chat. But he's almost at 3,000 fans. So what that allows Kurt to do, among other things, is he can now run campaigns and messages and only do it to his fans. And when he does that, he gets amazing, astounding results following this process. Okay, that didn't happen overnight. That happened from Kurt taking consistent, imperfect action for an entire year following what we're going through here. Okay, the next level of connection, which I have labeled as kind of 2A, is that once you build a fan base, you can also run campaigns to friends of fans. Why is that important? You've probably heard the cliche, birds of a feather flock together. And what that means for you is every one of your fans has other friends. And a percentage of those friends are also in your ideal target audience that you identified in step 1. And once you build a fan base, you can run campaigns to friends of your fans, which means a certain percentage of them, let's say one of your fans has 500 friends, 200 of which are in your target audience that you identified. That becomes pretty powerful for you. And it becomes another level of connection that you can leverage. Number 3 is an email or online inquiry. And that's the level that when I talk about 31 seller leads, that's the level that's at with John. Level 4 is an incoming call or text. John hasn't even gotten to that point where he's run some of our campaigns to actually get people to pick up their phone and call or text him. But that's one of the next things that he'll be implementing as he sort of continues to follow along. And if he's doing everything right that we talk about in step 4, which I'll get to in a minute, the next level is for them to become a client. We kind of, I kind of identify a client as someone you're actively working with to help buy or sell real estate, or you've recently helped them, right? You've recently closed a transaction with them. And then the highest level on our hierarchy of connection is them becoming an advocate. Now, I want to take a minute here to create a picture in your mind. It is infinitely easier to create advocates for your business when you follow this way of attracting and connecting with them than it is if you are begging and chasing them, using scripts to belittle and demean them into doing business with you. Whether it be with for sale by owners or expireds or your quote unquote sphere of influence. When you attract people to you and you use this process, it is a much more pleasurable experience for the consumer and for you, which means they are going to be much more likely to send you more business versus if you got them as a client because you were relentlessly tracking them down by calling them on the phone and texting them and emailing them, etc. They are going to be either consciously or unconsciously resistant to sending you their friends and family, people that they know, because of the way you got them as a client. So please understand this. If you get nothing else out of this alone, that paradigm shift will have a dramatic effect on your business in the long game. Because, yeah, you can get more business pounding the phones, knocking on doors, doing pop-bys. You can do that in the short term. But it's not ideal for you. It's not a nice experience for you or the person on the other line. And ultimately, it's not something that is sustainable long term. And it doesn't create a viral kind of effect that you can do when you follow this process. Okay? So step four, we call converse. This is a big difference. It's a one-letter difference, but it makes a huge difference in the way that you approach turning people from a connection into a client. So I want you to stop focusing on quote unquote converting leads or connections into clients and just focus on starting and continuing conversations until the only logical conclusion is for them to become your client. Okay? So don't focus on what can I do to convert someone today. Focus on what can I do today to get into more conversations with the people that I've already connected with on some level so that I can help and serve them in a way that it will become natural for them to want to work with me. So don't focus on, what's that ninja phrase or word that I can use to convert the person, to get them to say yes. The only types of scripts that we share are scripts that you can use to get into conversations, to get them conversing with you. And once they do, we get this all the time. Well, what do I do once they start conversing? You apply the golden rule. You treat them the way you would want to be treated. You look for how you can help and serve them, and you stop focusing on what can I do right now to get this person to become a client, right? You need to ask yourself a better question. What can I do to help and serve this person? So that the only logical conclusion will be that they would love to work with me, or they will be happily sending me their friends, their family, their coworkers because of the way I treated them in our conversation or conversations. Okay? Small difference, one letter, huge difference in what it will mean to your business, the experience the consumer has with you, the perception that they will have of you, and how you treat your business, right? We are in a negative reputation business. Real estate agents, on the whole, do not have a good reputation. So it is even more important that you do things to differentiate yourself than being just another real estate agent who's got commission breath and who's just worried about the next transaction. Okay? How can you help and or serve them even if they're not ready or willing and able to buy a home for the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years? Who all do they know that if you handle that situation correctly, if you help and serve them, will they happily send you business, right? So let's take a look at this for John specifically, okay? Let's take a look at this. So Kurt just updated me. He's got 2,928 fans. Not too shabby. Maybe we'll even bring up his page during the Q&A. So John specifically, right? That was the inspiration for this training call, was some results that a complete, newbie when it comes to online marketing and social media. Let's look at specifically what he did. So in the identify stage, step 1, he identified 2 zip codes, and he identified that he wanted to attract homeowners, right? This to me would be sort of the minimum level of qualification, would be geographic targeting and at least one demographic target, which is that they are existing homeowners, okay? So 2 zip codes of which they're homeowners, and the area that they were in, he sort of dubbed West Nashville, and we'll look at his page in a second. So that was what he did in the identify. Not too hard, really not too hard. The problem here, one of the big problems here is that, that I see over and over is with, a single agent or a small team is trying to serve all of Philadelphia, right? They choose Philadelphia homeowners, and it's all of Philadelphia. Well, that's like 2 million people or 1.5 million people, right? Or Chicago, right? I mean, millions and millions. Narrow down your focus. Narrow down your focus, okay? So what did he do to attract his audience? Well, he ran a like campaign, which actually was part of the connect process, but it fits in here. And he ran a home value style offer. Now, I'm going to address this right now. For many of you and in many markets, the traditional home value offer, which, by the way, we were like one of the pioneers of, just saying, at least of getting this on Facebook. In many markets, that offer is getting to a point of diminishing returns. It's not working anywhere near what it worked at a half a year, 2 years ago. And just know that we have a variation of that offer, a different style of offer that, with some early testing, again, at a really poor time of year to be testing anything, has been tremendously successful. And if you take me up on my special offer, we're going to show that to you as well. So he used the home value offer. It worked for him. But we've got other offers that you can use and leverage to connect with your ideal audience. So, just understand that it's not just about that, right? That's just a little piece of the puzzle. So here is his home value campaign. Okay, very simple. We have tested and tested and tested. This text, this copy on this page has been proven to win time and time and time again. Okay, this link is that's to the page that he created on our Goodwill Pages platform, which I'll give you more information on in just a minute, or I guess a couple of minutes, more than 1 minute. But this is the campaign that he used to generate those leads. Now, he followed a process, right? He didn't just immediately jump in and run this campaign. He did our what we call priming the pump, which is he built up a fan base to now, as of this morning, 490 fans. Okay, so he followed the process that we outlined, people. We have a very specific and strategic way of helping you launch this in your business, and he followed it step by step, which is why he was able to get the kind of results that we shared, even though he hadn't done any of this stuff before, ever. He's, admittedly ignored it. Okay, so here's a screenshot of his page. There's some things to learn here. The page, here's the biggest lesson. The page is about the audience that he is trying to attract and connect with. It's not about him or his real estate team. It's what I call an unbranded page, okay? And unless you already have a branded page with hundreds of fans, this is by far the best approach to take, because it's about your audience and who you want to connect with and not about you. We show you in our pro membership how you can brand yourself or your team, etc., once you've built an audience on an unbranded page. But there are many other reasons besides that. When you build an unbranded page, the page has value beyond your name and your brand, which means you could sell it at some point. You could lease it at some point. You can sell advertising on it. You can do lots of different things if you just will take a different approach and embrace the process and the protocol and the best practices that we've created and honed over the years. Okay. So again, back to specifically John. He's connected with 490 fans and he's gotten 31 seller leads. Now that was on the 16th. Today's the 20-something. He may have gotten more. I don't know. And he's only really, again, this is the most powerful. I've said this a lot. So this is very important for you to understand, right? Is that he's just barely scratching the surface. Okay. We talked about many different ways to connect. So he's got 490 fans. How many friends of fans are in his ideal audience? I don't know. It's at least several thousand, right? So he's invisibly connected with them. He's got 31 leads. He's building a database of people that he can continue to communicate with over the next year so that when he treats them right, when he follows the principles in step number 4 and just worries about conversing with people, not only are they going to eventually become clients, but they're going to happily send him other clients. Okay. And as I mentioned, he's really now at a point where he's focusing on that step 4, conversing, because he's hit the milestone. He's hit different benchmarks along the way, and it's the next logical step in the process for him. Okay. So here's the major takeaways for you. Besides the meaningful specifics that I shared. Okay. Here is why he has been so successful. Okay. The secrets, quote unquote, of John's success. Right. And here's one of the secrets. There are no secrets, right? I mean, there really aren't. Number 1, he, quote unquote, suspended his disbelief. Okay. Too many times we have people who come in, they sign up, and it doesn't matter what happens. They've already decided, which I can't understand. I don't know why you would take action and enroll in a program or become part of our community and already decide in your head, well, this isn't going to work. I've tried this before and it didn't work then and it won't work now. No, he took the exact opposite. He suspended his disbelief long enough to simply take action and follow the process, what we call the Client Alchemist way. And because he did that, he had massive success. Because he focused on the process and not the results. I talk about this all the time with my son and with his teammates, because I've coached. I end up coaching my son in literally every sport, and he plays every season. So I've coached him every season for over a year straight now, for spring baseball, summer rugby, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, point is, one of the lessons that I talk about every single day at practice with the kids is for them to focus on what they can control, which is their attitude, their concentration, and their effort. And we call that acronym ACE. And if they focus on those things, the results will take care of themselves. It might not always be a win, but if they focus on attitude, concentration, and effort, and they do the right things, and they buy into the process that I'm trying to get them to buy into, success happens as a byproduct. It will happen for you as well if you can do the same thing. If you can take your focus away from immediate results and focus on the process and having a good attitude and concentrating on what you're doing and simply making an effort, results will happen. Number 2, I call this the most important word in marketing, and the word is congruent. Everything was congruent. Okay? The name of his page, if you look, the text in the ad, everything was congruent to the person that he had identified that he wanted to attract and connect with. It was congruent with them. They live in West Nashville. More specifically, they live in this zip code. And when they click on the link, the page that they're taken to is congruent with the image on the screen right now and with the text on the screen right now. It's all 100% congruent, so that when someone does take that desired action and starts the process of connecting, they feel like, yeah, this all makes sense. This is all congruent. Okay? Most important word in marketing is the more you can, and literally, so one of our pro member benefits is we do marketing critiques for our pros or for our pro members. If you got a campaign and you want it critiqued, you just submit it and we critique it. We record it and we put it in our archives for our other pro members. And this is the number one thing that comes up time and time again is campaigns that are faltering are simply not congruent. They've got a branded page, or they've got messaging in the actual post that doesn't match what the person sees when they click, or it's completely incongruent, right? Either on purpose or on accident, where everything is just jumbled up. If you can look at everything, every marketing campaign you do, online or offline, and look at it through those eyes is this congruent to the person that I'm putting this marketing messaging in front of? And the more congruent it is, the more the desired action that you're trying to get them to take, the higher percentage of them will do it. Lastly, critical. He asked for help and feedback when needed. He wasn't afraid to ask for help and feedback. He was willing to be vulnerable and admit that he doesn't have all the answers and that he wants help in the process. Okay? Some of you, and I've been there before myself, and I still struggle with this. You let pride get in the way. You let other, whatever things get in the way of just being willing to ask for help. Look, we all need help. We all need feedback from time to time. There's no question. Every single one of us. Now, there are three types of folks listening on the call, right? Number one, there are folks, and this is sad to me, but this is the reality that I've come to accept over the years. There are some of you on this call who you'll go through this entire call. You think it all sounds great. And for whatever reason, you will never take action. You'll never implement anything that I shared. You just won't do it. And sadly, because you won't change your beliefs, you won't change your paradigm, you won't be willing to suspend your disbelief and take action, you stay stuck. It's sad, but it's reality. And I hope by saying that, if that's you, maybe you'll snap out of it and make 2016 a new reality for you. Number two, there are a certain percentage of you on that this all makes sense. You got the one or two or three or five little nuggets that you were looking for here, and you're content with going out and doing it yourself. You're content with making the mistakes, paying for the learning that happens when you don't have guidance and a way to get feedback and mentorship, etc. And that's fine. That was me for a number of years too, until I got fed up with struggling and became person number three, which is those of you listening who this all makes sense, who you either have had some success in the past doing this stuff and have gotten off track, or you've never had success, but you're ready, willing, and able to suspend your disbelief, to be vulnerable, and to be open to learning new things, and you're ready to get our help in doing that. And if you are number three, then here's the special offer that I mentioned for you at the beginning. When you get enrolled in the Client Alchemist Pro annual membership today, and I'll share the pricing on that in a minute or two, when you do that today, not only are you going to get all of our normal member benefits, but you'll also be getting nearly $4,000 in bonuses on top of a pretty significant savings, $136. And before I want to get into the bonuses, I want to walk through the benefits of Pro membership. Many of you on here already know what those benefits are. Many of you, however, do not. So I'm just going to quickly go through. This is what your members area looks like when you get signed up with Pro. We have intentionally kept it very clean, very simple, and just uncluttered so that you can get results without any confusion whatsoever. The first thing that you'll find in the members area are what we call the Client Alchemist action plans. These are detailed step-by-step plans helping you leverage whatever assets you currently have or get started creating assets now. Okay? Each action plan comes with video instructions, step-by-step written instructions, screenshots, and a whole lot more. Here's a couple of screenshots of what the action plans look like in the members area. You just click on Start Action Plan. It'll open like this. And when you click on the boxes, they open like this, and they have detailed step-by-step. Okay? As simple and easy to follow as we can possibly make it. Okay? It's kind of like an attraction marketing buffet, meaning wherever you're at with your business, you come in and you can choose which action plan makes the most sense for you today. If you have a listing that you want to market, if you want to build your fan base, if you need to create a fan page or optimize an existing fan page, wherever you're at, it's a buffet. You pick the action plan and simply open up and implement. That's it. There are currently 13 action plans live, and we're adding another 2 to 4 action plans every month. We have some really cool stuff planned for 2016. But I want to reiterate this fact. You don't have to do all of this. You just pick what makes sense for you and your business. You focus on that, and you take action, right? So, number 2, I already mentioned this. We do Client Alchemist marketing critiques. When you go into the members area, you click on this marketing critiques button. It'll open up, and you'll see all of our archives. In the critiques, you can receive expert feedback and reviews on your current marketing campaigns so you can improve conversions and maximize your return on the investment of your time or your money. And as a pro member, you can submit any marketing ad campaigns you'd like to have critiqued. In fact, I have one that I have to do after this training, okay? We'll be happy to critique it for you, and then we add it to our growing library of archives. This, I can't overemphasize this. This one benefit alone can both save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, one of our, Jeff, on our, one of the Client Alchemist founders, he was on a call earlier today. We are literally, with our help, we're going to be able to help someone save thousands of dollars in 2016 and get better results, all while building tangible assets for that person, for that client. Okay. Now, the next thing is our Client Alchemist office hours. Several times a month, you'll have the opportunity to hop on a live virtual workshop. Right now, those happen every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. If you can't make it live, we record them all. Here's what we do. We start by sharing any updates, and then we open things up for Q&A or feedback of any kind. Plus, you'll get to see what's working right now for other Client Alchemists just like you. We do, some of the things that we did today. We show John's campaign and why it's working. All of them, are recorded and archived so you can review as many times as you'd like. Here's another big one. As pro member, you're also getting access to our private mastermind group. We call it CA Connect. CA Connect. It's just like a traditional mastermind group. It's all about sharing what's working now, and getting help with what isn't. Plus, you'll be able to network with and even refer business to other Client Alchemists all throughout the US, Canada, and beyond. Again, this group alone easily worth the cost for the entire pro membership because of who you'll get to network with, the ideas, the thoughts, we have some ballers in the group. We have some guys who are doing some amazing things, doing tremendous amount of transactions, but not only that, doing it in a way where it's not killing them on the inside. It's not killing their spirit, right? And wanting them to quit the business, right? Last but certainly not least, as a pro member, you'll get unlimited and exclusive support. We've got this button right here called Priority Support. Our support team is instructed to not only respond in an incredibly timely fashion, but also to get their hands dirty if necessary by digging in and taking care of any and all tech hurdles where possible. I don't want to forget about the special bonuses that we put together for you when you sign up for Client Alchemist Pro annual membership. Now, I already have people asking for the link, so I'm going to put the link to do that in the chat, and then I'm going to share with you the bonuses, right? I already have people asking for this. Bonus number 1 is Client Alchemist Goodwill Pages, okay? Now, this is our software that we use and you can use to create an unlimited amount of landing pages. It's what John used to create his landing page. Capture pages, thank you pages, even launch your own fully featured and customizable blog. Some other things we're working on that'll come out in the first quarter and probably the first month of the year are neighborhood landing pages, property pages or listing pages, all following the Client Alchemist way. So taking our principles and then putting them into templates that you can use to get massive results, to connect with your ideal audience. Software like Goodwill Pages sells every day anywhere from $37 a month to $97 a month. I've paid for software like this literally for years and years, and the cheapest I ever paid was $39.95 a month, I think. So that's completely, legitimate. Which means not only are you getting the how-to, right, because that's what we provide for our pro members, the how-to, but you're also getting the tech to easily implement fast. And since you'll have a year access, right, because you're paying for a year today if you take action on the special deal that we put together, that bonus alone is at least worth $444, that's 37 times 12, or $1,164, that's 97 times 12, okay? Anywhere from, that's real value for you. Bonus number 2, you're going to get lifetime access to the Audience Attraction Academy. This is our master's level program outlining step-by-step how to create and build your audience. This is starting from scratch, and again, it's a master's level program going very detailed, very specifically how to do the entire process step by step by step. This is a program that dozens of other agents have paid anywhere from one payment of $980 to 3 payments of $360, right? So that's a real value of at least $980. Number 3, you will be getting 1 ticket to our Client Alchemist live in-person 2-day implementation bootcamp. Now, the value on this, I'm saying, is at least $2,000, and here's why I'm incredibly comfortable saying at least $2,000, because I know there are many other gurus and coaches out there, and I don't even put myself in that boat, who are charging $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 for exactly what we're going to help you do at our implementation boot camps. So you'll get to work personally with our team to implement like crazy. And when you join us, here's what we'll do. First, we're going to identify what 1 or 2 things are keeping you stuck, and then we'll work together live at the event to actually do the work necessary. Things like getting crystal clear on your ideal audience, optimizing your Facebook page, creating your buyer lead attraction system, creating your seller lead attraction system, email marketing, autoresponder setup, setting up your Facebook campaigns, setting up your YouTube campaigns, creating your daily, weekly, and monthly content and message schedule, blogging, what to do, how to do it, when, and more, video creation. Whatever is keeping you stuck, specific for your business, we're going to figure it out with you, and then we're going to help you implement, okay? The first event of 2016 will be held in Harrisburg, January 26th and 27th, okay? We may explore holding events in different geographic locations, and we'll keep you posted on that. And with your pro membership, annual membership today, you get a ticket that will be good for any boot camp in 2016. I just wanted to let you know when the first one is, so you can start planning if that one makes sense for you. So by now, because I haven't even revealed this, many of you have already gone to the link, and and I see that some of you have already signed up as I'm checking my other screen to the left here that I use to keep just make sure that everything's working okay. So many of you already know, but here's the deal. It is $680, right? Our normal monthly membership is $68 a month, okay? But when you pay annually today, when you go to clientalchemist.com/deal, it's only $680, okay? So that's where the savings of $136 come in. And to get the bonuses that I mentioned, you have to sign up for our annual payment. So to confirm, when you become one of our annual members today, you'll be getting unlimited access to the action plans, and that's a growing library. We're adding 2 to 4 a month, as well as the Client Alchemist marketing critiques, the office hours and all the archives, the CA Connect Mastermind group, unlimited exclusive support, plus all the bonuses, right? 1-year access to Goodwill Pages, the Audience Attraction Academy, and a ticket to the live implementation bootcamp, which is a total value I put on this slide over $3,400. That's at least, right? That's at the very minimum, and I'm just comparing it to real world value of what people have paid me or what people are paying for similar programs and events. So you can get it all right now for just $680, and it's clientalchemist.com/deal. clientalchemist.com/deal. That is not easy to spell. We realize clientalchemist.com is not easy to spell, but the link is in the chat. You can just click on the link in the chat and just fill out the form and get started. Now, a couple of things before we open it up for Q&A. So we are going to do Q&A in just a minute. I've got a couple more things, though. Here's who this isn't for, right? Because I want to disqualify some of you. I've just been doing this long enough that we don't, we don't want just anyone being part of our community. If you are lazy or you have a get-rich-quick mentality, this is not for you. If you are only in it for the money and you don't care about your community or making a difference, this is not for you. We're going to show you how to make more money, but not just for money's sake. And number 3, if you aren't willing to play the long game, okay? If you are not really to commit to doing this for the long game, not the short game. Who should enroll, who should take advantage of this is if you're purpose-driven, if you have a long game perspective, you're willing to work hard and be patient. Think you're building a sculpture versus winning the lottery, right? We want people who want to build a sculpture, okay? And if you're sick and tired of the grind, lead vendors, cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, and all that other BS, if that's you, then you should take action and take us up on this deal right now, today. So here's what it looks like when you click on the link. Maybe it doesn't look like that. Let's bring it up. Here's what the order form will look like. And as I'm looking that up, please start posting your questions and comments. I do have a few things that have already popped up, but please post them there. This is what it'll look like. Secure order form, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have questions, we have, you can call the line, you can email support, you can use the chat down here, whatever, or you can just take action and lock in your spot right now. Ruth says, I've been out of touch for a while. How is this different from Reticulous? So great question, Ruth. Here's the deal. I have not been with Reticulous for now well over a year. So I have heard recently that they are shutting the whole thing down. That is sad to me. And in retrospect, I would have liked to have do things differently. Here's how this is different. This is taking everything that we learned with that company, with that program, and simplifying everything down to where it is more efficient and effective for us, and most importantly, for all of you. It's also less from a straight cost perspective. So we are. This is the new company that I have launched with a team with Jeff and Mike, and we're growing quickly. But the mission is similar. Helping agents attract their ideal client. The mission is similar. It's just that some things happened there, and I'm no longer with that company, and that's good for all of you in the long run. I can promise you that. Will this work for buyer leads? I'm a loan officer. Absolutely. Okay, so here's the deal. Not only are you going to get all the bonuses that I mentioned, additionally, when you sign up today, you're going to get a case study from one of our what we call ambassadors. He's a Client Alchemist Pro ambassador. His name's Paul. His name is Paul, in Kansas City. And recently, and I mean like in the last 3 weeks, Paul has generated 86 buyer leads for $50. Okay, that works out to like 58 cents a lead. Now, important to note is these leads are all in the most prestigious school district in his entire market, where the lowest priced home, I'm talking the cheapest home, is $250K. And my point in pointing that out is that they are not bargain hunters. Okay, these are not bargain hunters. You will get In fact, that is the most recent action plan that we've added, and you'll get that and a 45-minute case study, Jeff and Paul walking through how he created everything, why it worked, the thinking behind it, and the specific how-to, step by step by step. So it absolutely will. And for someone like yourself, Mark, a loan officer, man, this skill set, this knowledge, and being able to do this and work with numerous referral partners in many different target audience areas, massive win for you. Are Goodwill Pages included in the normal monthly pro membership? They are. Goodwill Pages is one of our monthly membership benefits. Okay, it's just that I included that in there because you're getting a year of it when you lock up a year membership today. Let's see here. Randall, I answered that one. Whoever said, I don't have the name here, but just email support. Somebody said, I need somebody to walk me through what I already have. Just email support at clientalchemist.com, and our support hero, named appropriately support hero, will clarify any of that for you. Kurt, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought we did that. Kurt, my bad. I thought we did that. I'll get with Jeff to take care of that. Okay, so along the same lines, how does this compare or different from FB Real Estate Academy? So here's the deal, because we get a lot of people asking this. FB Real Estate Academy is a program. It is akin to a college course. It has a starting point and an ending point. It's very helpful. It is directly in line with our purpose and our mission at Client Alchemist. Client Alchemist Pro is what I have sort of dubbed our professional association. So we wholeheartedly believe that anyone who our mission resonates with, anyone who wants to learn the mindset, the skills, and the strategies for attracting their ideal client systematically at will, they should be a pro member. Additionally, they can and should select different programs that we are currently offering, and we will be adding to our line of programs in 2016 where they want to go deeper on a topic. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We get that question a lot. We can't possibly put every program into pro. It's one of the reasons that Reticulous became so overwhelming and confusing for our members, is there were too many things. So we're keeping a very keeping things very delineated and specifically to help our customers, our clients, cut down on confusion and grow as client alchemists, right? And grow and improve upon their skill sets, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see here. Is there a case study recorded? Yes. So I think so. Paul Holland's case study is recorded. That's in the pro membership members area under action plans, and that's in there. We'll record. A bunch of you have been asking about a recording of this webinar, this training. I did record it. I hope the recording works. If it did, I will be getting it out to all of you who attended this evening or tomorrow morning at the latest. And we do have other case studies. We have some case studies that are public on clientalchemist.com, and then we have some that are private for members only for various reasons. So welcome, Ruth. Welcome, Ruth, to the community. Welcome, Ruth Ebbinghaus. To Client Alchemist Pro. Happy to have you, Ruth. Good stuff. The link again, a bunch of you are asking that. The link again is clientalchemist.com/deal. Clientalchemist.com/deal. Ruth asks, Josh, I'm also involved in another networking business. Seems like this would work well for that as well. Thoughts? Absolutely. I don't know if it's a local specific networking business or not. But what we teach here, the principles, the concepts, they work in any type of business. You would be hard pressed to find a business model where our principles and even a majority of our specific strategies will work. Now, the very specific examples are real estate, but the principles and the process is massively different. Oh, Kurt, yeah, Kurt, can you email me right now? I'm sorry we keep missing each other. Email me right now and let's schedule a time either when I hang up on here, when we finish up, or tomorrow. But we need to chat ASAP. Is this comparable to BFA Digital Ryan Stewman product? Mark, I can't answer that for sure because I don't own Ryan's BFA. I love Ryan. I don't. I love his authenticity. I don't always agree with his opinions, but I know his programs are wonderful. And here's what I can tell you just from my own personal perspective. When I am trying to learn a new skill, I invest in everything I can get my hands on that I know is good and quality, because I know that because of my perspective and the attitude that I bring to everything, that I'll learn something from everything. So I can't compare the two because, again, I don't own that program from Ryan's. I can confidently say I'm sure it's awesome, but I couldn't possibly compare the two. If it were me, and I've done this, I'd probably end up doing both at some point, because you learn different things. It's the only way that you can go from being someone who's just a copycat to someone who has internalized the principles, and someone like Kurt. So Kurt has had some pretty, amazing success with our programs and just following what we do. And he's gotten to the point where he's sort of synthesized everything, and he does what he implements is almost a hybrid of what we do, in the sense that, like, he takes several different styles of campaigns and melds them into one for his own in his own business. But the only way he got to that point was he followed everything step by step, and then as he grew his skill set and his mindset, he was able to try different things, tweak and so forth. Is the case study for Paul recorded? Yes. Is FBRA still a good way to get going? I'm just getting started with it. Yes, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. In fact, we just updated the content 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe 6. I don't know. I lose track of time, but very recently. So it absolutely is. What's the difference between I joined Client Alchemist Pro member for $1 to today's offer? With today's offer, you're getting the bonuses only offered today. So you get, in the $1 offer, you do get Goodwill pages once you get to a certain point, once you've kind of completed a certain amount of steps in our Start Here process. You get Goodwill pages. But with today's offer, you're getting it for the year, paid up front. And you're getting the access to the Audience Attraction Academy, which is kind of like our flagship program. And you're getting a ticket to the live in-person implementation bootcamp. I can guarantee you this. I know this for a fact. I don't know how many people will come to those bootcamps in 2016, but I can guarantee you that is the absolute fastest way to shortcut yourself to massive success with the Client Alchemist way, with these principles. There's no question. Okay, and so that's why I included a ticket. That's why we're doing the in-person boot camps, is so that we can help you. I don't believe in shortcuts in the sense of how people typically refer to them. But if there is a shortcut to success with this, it's getting in the room with us and us helping you implement, like hand in hand. If we create our own pages and Goodwill pages, can we use those pages for the other businesses like you were talking about? You can do whatever you want with those. Absolutely. You can do whatever you want. There's no question. Thank you. Thank you to whoever said the comment. I won't repeat it, but thank you. I already answered that. Is this the same program as Haas Pratt was offering? No, this is in no way, shape, or form anything like anything Haas does. Not in any realm of the universe. Point out that Kurt has only scratched the surface. This stuff will continue to evolve. You handle the beta testing. Yeah, here's the deal. I mean, one of the major benefits, I should probably put this into the slides. One of the major benefits is this. We are constantly trying new things. And when we find something new that's working, we share it with you so that you can implement it and stay ahead of the curve. It's just reality. Technology is changing at light speed. Things are just wildly changing, right? It's hard enough for you to work with clients, let alone, have to try and stay ahead of the curve with the stuff that actually gets the clients for you. Which is why, unfortunately, so many people stay stuck and content doing the stuff they hate. Cold calling, door knocking, pop buys. I mean, I can't even, like, I'm getting, like, my skin is like, I can't even, just thinking about doing that stuff makes me nauseous. Like, I want no part of it. Some guy called me today trying to cold calling me with some kind of, I don't even know what. It was the third time he cold called me in 3 days. I'm like, dude, buddy, please take me off this list. This is painful for me and for you. And it is, right? You never have to do that kind of stuff again if you just will embrace this better way of doing business, of attracting business. Who was the member that did the carousel ad on Facebook, and is that one recorded? That is the Paul Holland case study. That is the one that we're talking about. It's in there. It's in the members area. It is recorded, and it's awesome. Awesome. It is impossible to keep up trying to do what we do and stay ahead of the curve of working. Absolutely. And that's why this is what we love. Like this for me is not work. What we do and what we help our pro members, it's not work to me. So that's why I'm able to do it and to bring the kind of passion to it and authenticity to it that I'm able to, because it's not work to me. It's fun, right? But I know for many of you, it's agonizing. It's not what you want. What's fun to you is working with clients, but it becomes frustrating when you can't do it. You don't have effective ways for attracting those clients that that you can help and serve and provide amazing service to. It's painful to you when you can't do that, and we help take that pain away. Let's see, man, I'm losing my voice. Somebody keeps posting this, so I'm assuming that this wasn't clear. So people are asking, how is this different from some of our programs? Our pro membership is our, what I call, professional association. It's what we believe that everyone who is embracing and open to our way of attracting clients should be a part of. And it's our professional association. It's where we gather as a community. It's where we continually test and track and tweak and so forth. Our programs are just that. They're like courses, college courses. They have a definitive start and end point. Okay? And so the association we believe everybody should be a part of, and then programs people should choose to enroll in and go through as they see fit for their business or their topics of interest, where they want to dive deeper. And so we've got lots more, or not lots more, but we have more programs coming in 2016 that will allow people to dive deeper in specific topics that they are, have an interest in. We can't possibly It would do a disservice to us and to you if we put every program in our pro membership. It would become confusing. It would become just a nightmare for everyone involved. And so we've specifically and strategically designed the business to be like that, so that it just makes more sense for you and for us. Let's see here. Can you, the person that asked to call, can you just email that to support@clientalchemist.com? Support@clientalchemist. I'm typing it to you as well. Just email that exactly what you put here to clientalchemist.com, and that would be great. All right, I am losing my voice, and we're running out of questions. At least I think. I think we're running out of questions. The boys are your mini-me. I'm going back up. Some nice comments from you, and so I appreciate that. I got somebody who said the boys are mini-me. I get that a lot. Although a lot of people are saying that my oldest is starting to look more like my wife. But then people say my wife and I look, similar. So anyway, as you can tell, my voice is getting hoarse. I'm losing it. Here's what I'm going to do. Once again, clientalchemist.com/deal. clientalchemist.com/deal. Hopefully the recording of this worked. I'm going to get it rendered. I'll get the replay out to everyone ASAP. If you have any questions before taking action, I totally understand. You can email support@clientalchemist.com. You can call the number. You can use the chat box on the screen that you can see right down here. A number of you have, a number of you have asked for the recording. A number of you have signed up. And so, I'm super excited that you're now part of our community. And you're willing to take a long view, because you're investing in the long term. You're investing in you and improving your skill set and mindset, and you're investing with the long view in mind. And so I appreciate that, because there's lots of people out there selling you the dream of painting a picture that's not reality to get you to buy. And unfortunately, many of you then realize after the fact that isn't, what they're selling is not what they're delivering. And we hope that we're the antithesis of that. And we try to over deliver, but it's not easy. You have to work, right? There is no magic pill. You have to put in the work. It's just that we're going to help you put in the work more efficiently and effectively, so you can get results faster, so that you can create a positive snowball and a positive feedback loop that will just create massive success for you over time, so that the next time I do one of these, it's your testimonial, your success story that we've got on the page. Thank you for everyone for being on, and we'll get the recording out ASAP. Take action, get enrolled, and we'll talk soon.